So Pete, I've created a new virtual machine. It's going to host a database. Nothing too fancy, just the ERP or EMR for 100,000 users. Should I just give it one VMDK that's big enough and just call it a day, or what should I do differently?
Well, the answer is no. In respect to, a lot of the long-standing recommendations we've had, generally that follows the line of first adhering to whatever the vendor's requirements are for that application. So let's say if it's if it's a database, they have the databases and the transaction logs, and they recommend that you should split those into multiple storage devices, then yes, then you will want to kind of reflect that, mimic that in your virtual environment. And that comes in the form of having multiple VMDKs. But there's one area that often gets overlooked, and this applies to both vSphere environments running traditional 3-tier architectures and vSAN environments. And that's making sure that within the VM configuration that you are using multiple virtual SCSI adapters for those VMDKs. And that's going to do a couple of things. One is that it's going to help increase the number of active threads that are occurring for IO. And two, it's going to increase the queue depth for each respective VMDK. And queue depth is important now, even though you would want to use her virtual SCSI adapters for those VMDKs. Something very busy like an ERP system, that's going to have a high demand. And we want to create and make sure that we don't artificially create a bottleneck at the application just by the VM configuration.
No, that's good to hear. And I also like, reminding everyone to go look at those application RAs. If you go to core.vmware.com, there's a bunch of different ones, and there's, your, traditional Oracle, but there's also, some of these NoSQL kind of new, cool next generation applications that have been validated, and looking and seeing where that's going. There's teams of people who are working with some of our largest customers to vet these applications at scale and what kinds of configurations they should make. So, you could try to test every possible combination yourself, or you could go read the paper. So I'd at least start there.
Yeah, let somebody else do the testing and validation. And if they make the recommendation that that's what you should do, then follow the reference architectures. So.